All right, we're live. Welcome, DoorGrow hackers, to the DoorGrow Show. If you are a property management entrepreneur that wants to add doors, make a difference, increase revenue, help others, impact lives, and you are interested in growing your business and your life, and you are open to doing things a bit differently, then you are a DoorGrow hacker. DoorGrow hackers love the opportunities, daily variety, unique challenges, and freedom that property management brings. Many in real estate think you're crazy for doing it. You think they're crazy for not, because you realize that property management is the ultimate high trust gateway to real estate deals, relationships, and residual income. At DoorGrow, we are on a mission to transform property management businesses and the business owner. We want to transform the industry, eliminate the BS, build awareness, change perception, expand the market, and help the best property management entrepreneurs win. I'm your host, property management growth expert, Jason Hull, the founder and CEO of DoorGrow. Now, let's get into the show. So, on a previous episode, we started talking about this journey that the entrepreneur or the property management entrepreneur business owner goes through. And we started with the pure startups, the zero door crowd. So, today we're going to get into the next level. It's barely beyond that. It's like one door beyond that, like they've actually started. And these I call seekers. Why? Because they are seeking a lot. They're seeking a lot of knowledge. They don't know a lot. They're trying to figure out like what they need to do. They're trying to get over all sorts of challenges. So when you first start taking action, that's a big leap. It's difficult. So a lot of times these might be, and if this is you, you're likely a realtor, maybe with a few rental investment properties of your own. Maybe you have a little bit of experience managing properties for yourself, or maybe a little bit for others. These seekers are not yet even aware of how painful and tough it can be until they mature into kind of that next level we'll get into on a future episode. They are now wanting to start a property management business, and they are easy prey to making many common mistakes. They fall prey to a lot of potential pitfalls, such as selecting poor branding, choosing poor branding that costs them a lot of leads, getting a website that doesn't convert and capture leads well, not pricing themselves effectively, like trying to be the cheapest in the market, no strategy for online review gathering, and they start quickly earning a negative reputation just from their first few interactions, taking on bad clients that cost them 10 times good ones. We talked about the cycle of suck on a previous episode. I recommend you review that if you're in this stage or any stage really. And so that is a challenge. They're caught in the cycle of suck. They, a lot of times in this seeker stage, they fall prey to expensive franchises. And so, you can check out DoorGrow and, just Google DoorGrow and property management franchise alternative. And we have a whole page about the potential pitfalls of choosing into a property management franchise and all the limitations that creates and why it may not be a good fit for almost anyone. So paying for expensive and ineffective marketing channels, which franchises generally push you towards, such as SEO, pay-per-click, content marketing, social media marketing, pay per lead services, and you end up getting really poor results. So it's really costly, takes a lot more time, and you get way less results. They are often, a lot of times at this stage, they're seeking a broker. That's an issue with pure startups, but a lot of times they're seeking a broker. They're looking for, they're working on getting their broker's license. They're maybe working underneath the broker instead of having their own broker's license. And they're just seeking a lot of tools and resources and ideas. And there's so many shiny objects, so many pieces of software, so many tools. And a lot of times they go down this rabbit hole of just mentally, playing around with all this stuff and not actually taking action and moving forward. So, I've seen a lot of clients come to me that were kind of at this level and at this stage. And one of the big challenges, you don't know yet what you don't know. at this stage. You haven't learned yet how difficult certain pieces of the business can be. So there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. So one of the things that I teach clients, just to throw a bone out, is an idea or strategy called product research interviews. And without giving away too much awesome stuff just on our free podcast, but I want to always give value, is product research interviews are going to be a great tool for the seeker and for the pure startups to get ideas and to learn what they need to do with, to please investors, it helps them learn what objections, what challenges. So do some product research interviews. My recommendation, if you are going to create something new, a new product or service, such as starting a property management business and offering a suite of services, for property management, my recommendation is you do some product research interviews, because you may not really know. You know maybe what you need as an investor, but you're one limited, avenue for information. And so my recommendation is that you talk to at least minimum 20 or 30 investors and ask them about their concerns, why they haven't used a property manager in the past. If they have, what challenges have they had? So you get connected to reality in terms of how the investor thinks, what their mindset is, what challenges they see, what their objections are. Once you've done this with about 20 or 30, you'll probably be almost as savvy as a lot of property managers that have been doing this for at least a handful of years, because they never did that. So they just waited until they had 20 or 30 solid opportunities. And then eventually 20 or 30 solid, they actually got wise enough to start asking really healthy questions, to get feedback, which might've been, 100 people in after talking to a lot of investors. So I want to collapse time for you. Start doing some product research interviews. Real simple. Go out to some sort of real estate investor group, start connecting and meeting people, and just say, hey, I'm starting a property management business. It looks like you're doing some cool stuff in the industry, or that you're an investor. I would love to take you out to lunch, pick your brain. I could really use some feedback on what I was looking at doing and offering to clients. And the secret that we talk about even in more detail in our program is these are awesome leads. This is a really easy side door to get some leads for your business to get things started. So getting to that first 50 doors. So the seeker are maybe like 1 to 50 doors, right? And this stage, you are just learning. You're just learning, like, how should I handle a lease? And like, how should I handle a contracts? And like, how should I get property management software in place? And like, you're just focused on some really basic stuff to get the business healthy and going. And you might get caught up on stuff that you don't really need to spend a ton of time on yet. Like if it's just you don't really need to be spending a ton of time documenting processes or worrying about VAs or, some of this kind of stuff. That's probably once you have 50 doors, then it's time to start maybe focusing on how can I offload a little bit? How can I start creating some leverage? Maybe there's some software and some tools, and we'll get into that on a subsequent podcast episode. So if you are a seeker and you are figuring this stuff out, I mentioned this for the pure startups, but a lot of seekers need to hear this too. Make sure you really learn the laws and the rules and landlord tenant law, and get really connected to the local real estate board, and just really be aware of what you can and cannot do, or should and should not do in your market. Get educated, because the more educated you are, the more of an authority you are, and the more you're going to kill what every seeker feels, which is imposter syndrome. Seekers have stepped beyond the fantasy and they're in reality, and reality is uncomfortable. And the pain you will experience, if you are a decent human being, you will experience imposter syndrome. Every entrepreneur goes through this stage. You suck during this stage. You're going to experience a lot of pain, and a lot of people avoid the suck. You have to just start sucking to get over it. You have to lean into the suck, and you have to be willing to look stupid sometimes and ask dumb questions, because you're not going to learn otherwise. And you need to be willing to experience that discomfort of imposter syndrome and figure out how to overcome it so you don't feel like a fake or phony or are worried whether or not they're going to know whether you know or don't know something. It's okay to admit that you're new. It's okay to admit that you might not know something, but that you will figure it out. You could easily say, you know what, I don't actually, I'm not totally clear on that. But that's a great question. Let me do a little bit more research and I will come back to you and let you know what I find out. I have some connections with my lawyer. I have connections with my, my trade organization. I have connections, with some of my investor clients. Let me ask around and find out a really solid answer for you on that. You don't have to know everything immediately. They want to know that you can figure out problems and solve problems for them. And you don't have to be the expert on everything, but I want you to become the expert. Like, become the expert that they can lean on and trust, because that puts you in much higher category in their mind of trust, and they will want to do business with you if they feel safe with you. Remember, nobody wants to buy property management from you. What they really want to buy from you is peace of mind or safety and certainty, as I've talked about before. I've talked about on a previous episode the 4 reasons for entrepreneurs to start a business. The 5th reason for people in motivation of why they are involved in businesses or that you need to focus on a business, that 5th reason is safety and certainty. And so that's really what people want to buy from you. So make sure you know how to offer safety and certainty to them instead of just offering a bunch of products and services and things about managing their property that will maybe create safety and certainty. Help them become certain in you that you're going to create safety and certainty, and they will care a lot less about all the details and features and benefits and trying to micromanage you and trying to ask way too many questions. That's usually a clue they're not feeling safe with you and they aren't comfortable and they don't feel like there's a high level of trust or safety and certainty. And remember, sales and deals happen at the speed of trust. So the faster you can create authentic, real trust, the faster you're going to get results. So if you are a seeker and you're struggling with some of the stuff and you're trying to figure it out and you don't want to make a ton of mistakes and you want to collapse time and you don't want to waste tens of thousands of dollars on marketing and signing contracts with marketing agencies, and you want to get some real solid wins, you want to grow your business without spending a dime on marketing and just investing time, but actually less time than it would take if you got leads through marketing, which takes more time, by the way, than the warm lead strategies that we focus on at DoorGrow. If you want to spend less time and less money and get more doors more quickly, then reach out. One of my clients, just had a call with him just the other day. He's added 300 doors in the last year in working with us, about 300 doors. That would be impossible if he were focused on any lead gen channel or advertising channel. If you were doing marketing or paying for SEO or pay-per-click or content marketing or social media marketing or any internet marketing, that would be impossible because those leads would have been colder. He wouldn't have had the time. He wouldn't have had the time to be closing that many deals and that many doors. But when deals come to you hot or warm and you're getting warm leads and referrals and you've really optimized that sales pipeline for that, you built up really good referral, outbound like partner programs and some of the stuff we talk about, this can go really, really fast because the close rate on warm leads is super high. It's like 80-90% typically. And the sales cycle time to close them is way shorter. So you're spending way less time selling. So if you want to get this business off the ground, build the right engine from the get-go. And then once it's built, like this client, he's just injecting a little bit of fuel into this engine. He doesn't have to invest all the hours that he was putting in. He was putting in like probably 20, 25 hours a week, I think, into this strategy. So it was like a part-time job just to focus on sales and grow the business. But now it just takes a little bit of fuel to keep that engine going. Now that he has really good connections, really good partners, he's built that. And there's some really easy low-hanging fruit that can get you a lot more doors than any of the really expensive cold lead marketing strategies. Some of them are so obvious, such a no-brainer when I pointed out to our new clients. they're just winning. It's just wins. So we just had we started doing in our mastermind a new client call because we have so many new clients that are in the early stage, and we started doing that on Tuesdays. And a lot of these are in this seeker category. They've started the business, but it's like, they're in this difficult sort of stage and they have to build the engine. And the call that we just had, the first 2 calls we did on Tuesdays, were just sharing strategies, right? But this last call yesterday was just wins. It was just really awesome. It was lots of wins. Everyone's sharing wins, and they just couldn't believe, like, they're batting 1,000. They're making calls and they're getting 0 on some of the calls that they're doing. They're getting no one saying no in building up these referral relationships. And I know that sounds crazy and ridiculous, and you probably don't believe me, but join the program and then you'll be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And that is so easy. And I can't believe I didn't think of doing that. I would never say no to that either. Right. So, anyway, so if you're interested in growing your business, you are a seeker, check us out at doorgrow.com, schedule a call with my team, and let's get you into the DoorGrow and Scale Mastermind. And our first goal with all of these seekers is to get them paid. We want to get them making double what the monthly cost of the mastermind is within the first 30 days so that they're making enough money to justify the expense. Double the cost of the expense. They're making double that. So, and that's not too difficult to do. For most property managers, it's maybe like 10, maybe to 20 doors, depending on how much money they make per door, which later in our program, we will optimize and improve because everybody comes in with bad pricing. So, all right. So that's it for today. So for those seekers out there, keep seeking and you will find, right? That's what the Bible says anyway. So keep seeking, you'll find it. And hopefully in your hunt or in your seeking, you find DoorGrow. We would love to help you out. And until next time, to our mutual growth. Bye, everyone.